I got big dog status. I got big dog status. I got big dog status. Oh, let me throw that on. That's my shit. All right, man. Full moon Leo through the houses 6 through 12. 6 through 12. Where all my Leos in the 6th house at? What's this? This is my Pisces risings. My Pisces risings in the building. Damn, I fucked up. That just blew mine. So I came up with a new cause it'd be hard for me sometimes when I upload lives and upload them on YouTube, and sometimes because they so long, it'd be hard for me. It'd be a little hard finding the fucking timestamp. So I was supposed to be, this is my little crystal hand. I was supposed to be waving this at the end of every house. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that in this one. All right, it's gonna be my little signal. 6th house. 6th house, guys. 6th house. So Leo in the 6th house, full moon transit in the 6th house. So once again, we know, what does the full moon do? It illuminates. It brings emotional awareness. It highlights. All right. It can trigger. Okay. And it influences response. We just don't want to respond right away. Okay. We want to be able to digest our emotions, understand our emotions, so we don't create transformative crisis-like moments in our life, because we too motherfucking impulsive, and we just going through emotional outbursts and shit because the moon is full. The moon is full. So we got heavy emotions about shit. All right. So get right into it. 6th house. What's the 6th house? Schedule and routine. This house governs your schedule and routine. All right. So with the full moon illuminating this house, you're going to be fully aware and fully understanding of situations in your 6th house. When it comes to your schedule, you're going to have full awareness on what needs to be in and out the fuck your schedule. This is people, places, and things. You want to work on something, but you're spending this much time working on this, doing that in the 3rd. Full moon transit in the 6th house, you're going to pick up on this. Bell Papillon in the building. You're going to pick up on this during the full moon in the 6th house. All right? Now, the 6th house deal with the workplace and co-workers too. So you got to be careful of these motherfuckers at your job during the full moon in Leo transit in your 6th house. Because you will find yourself, if you've been suppressing anything in the workplace. I just be laughing because I be seeing these scenarios in my head. If you've been suppressing anything in the workplace, like you cannot have no crazy outbursts on your manager or your coworker or whatnot. You feel me? It's not the time. Now, this may be a time where, you pick up that you need to transform this situation. You need to change your line of work. You need to change how you deal with things in the workplace, or transition to something different that you're working on, or creating a schedule or routine around. But just because you pick up on a lot of this at the workplace and it felt like the great time to just tell everybody, fuck all y'all, I quit and shit, like chill. Not right now. I ain't saying don't quit your job. I'm just saying don't do it in in an impulsive way like that, where you burn bridges or whatnot. You don't know you just never know. We don't want to put ourselves in a space where we burn bridges. People burn a lot of bridges around full moon energy times, transits. So your schedule and routine, this is the most highlighted area. Seeing what's in and out your routine, making sure you start to process and understand how to make these changes within your schedule routine. This house is dealing with our wellness. This house is dealing with our wellness, diet, and regimen. So this is going to be a time where it's like, if you haven't been treating your body with love, you haven't been putting, love into your body, if you haven't been treating your system the way it needs to be treated, you're going to really pick up on that. It's going to be hard to neglect that around this time. 6th house, I always like to say full new moon transit in the 6th house, great time that universe is most likely calling you to have a little fast. It could be a fruit fast. It could be intermittent fast. It could be a 2-day weekend fast. A cleanse, a detox. Your system is calling for it. Universe needs you to jump on that. You got full moon transit in your 6th house. All things that's affecting your mental health and wellness people, places, and things, and what your schedule revolves around, all of this becomes a heightened awareness. And you can have, and depending on when you pick up these areas and what environments you pick up these areas is how you can negatively respond to them. So this is the time to understand, how to rearrange the routine, how to rearrange your schedule. There may be a shift that you work at work, and you've been thinking for a while, if you work the night shift, that'll be better for you to get things done throughout your day, this, that, and the third. Naturally a night person, so boom, boom, boom. This is a time to be like, okay, let me start entertaining that more, or get ready to initiate that, getting closer to the new moon. Let me holler at my boss, my manager, to see whatever rearrangements I got to make with my schedule and routine. With the full moon transit in this house, anything that you pick up on heavy that needs work, that needs your work effort, these are things that's the universe trying to lead you somewhere. Universe trying to, and you got Leo in here. Once again, this is my Pisces rising. You got Leo in here. So, Leo influences Pisces risings to work on their creativity in some type of shape or form. All right? So, new influences to work on your creative endeavors in a new way, to work on any type of creative projects you invested in a new way. All right? This is going to be of heavy emphasis. I'll be making these notes to not even look at them. But it's like, that's why they say you got to write shit down. When you write shit down, you ingrain shit in your shit. You feel me? Sense of wellness becomes priority. Beware of clashes or outbursts in the workplace among coworkers, especially if the feelings have been suppressed, right? Developing frustrations around what you're organizing. Got to be careful of that around the time. You may be trying to organize something, put something together, structure something, build something. You could be dealing with slight frustrations right now because the moon is full. So if you picking up on that, any time around this weekend, going into early next week or whatnot, it's okay to just come back to something. It's okay to drop something, be like, yo, I'm getting fucking frustrated working on this right now. Let me come back later tonight when I have more of a clear mind. Let me come back tomorrow when I have more of a clear mind or something. All right. Yeah, I can't just spew that out in a couple of seconds. I'm sorry. But when Leos and Scorpios date, for the most part, the positives is that it can be a very enticing, exciting, passionate situation, and they could develop a insane amount of loyalty for each other. But on the negative side, Scorpio energy is more behind the scenes-ish. Leo energy is more expressive and to be seen. There may be things about the Leo person, it may be things that the Leo person, or attributes connected to how they express themselves or how they want to be seen or how they deal with their pride, that's really a pet peeve for the Scorpio. Scorpio might feel like Leo does shit in a real dramatic way, and then a lot of times that brings light to the Scorpio, brings attention to the Scorpio. Scorpio may not like how sometimes the Leo feels like the Scorpio needs to be more expressive of their feelings, at times, because fire signs, when it comes to love, a lot of them feel conviction in their love when they see that their partner is expressive in some type of shape or form. Like a woman fire sign, a woman Aries, Sagittarius, Leo could be in a situation with a guy, right? Be in a situation with a guy. Let's say the guy does something wrong, hurts the fire sign woman. If that nigga start, like, from the bottom of his heart, genuinely, no acting, nothing, that nigga just start crying like, yo, my bad, son, like, boom, like, he start crying, showing, like, if the fire sign woman can see, like, oh shit, I can actually see this nigga's emotion through his expression. Even if it could be somebody that really feels a way, but they ain't really that expressive, they being nonchalant about their feelings and shit. Fire signs don't like that shit. But if the fire sign can at least see the person being expressive, like, yo, my bad, boom, boom, they trying to express themselves why they did this shit, this and that, they start crying and shit. They yelling like, yo, my bad, don't leave, boom, boom. Fire sign wouldn't be like, okay, because it's the expression, it's you putting your emotion, how you feel in the light. All right. So with the Scorpio energy, the Leo Scorpios, that's not how they express their love though. Scorpios ain't that expressive with their love. Scorpios be in love with people and they could barely be saying that they love them, like, but their partner knows they love them. It's subliminal and subconscious with the water signs, man. So that's like how the clashes come out between the sun signs. All right. Now, So yes, schedule routine is highlighted. Full moon transit in the 6th house. Your wellness, all right, that's highlighted right now. All right, and highlighting new ways to work on your creative endeavors. All right, you want to pay attention to these things, write these things down, but your sense of wellness and routine has to be tightened up. You know, the full moon deals with detaching and releasing, so there might be something that you paying attention to or you invested in that shit taken away from your sleep hours. That shit taken away from the hours you should be working on your business, working on your side business or whatnot. You know, that shit taken away from the goals you set to go to the gym. You know, that your sleep schedule is fucking with your eating schedule and you trying to be on a diet. So like, these are all the things you need to tighten up right now. You need to see what to take out of that 6th house to have a more harmonious flowing 6th house with your schedule and routine. And the things that you're working on can start to see the traction that they need. See, that's the thing. Full moons is such a strong ass energy if you know how to redirect that shit. So you got the part where you pick up on the full moon energy, then you got the part where you redirect it into what is it that you want to change in that house. So things that you want to change in your 6th house, you need to use this full moon to acknowledge it, feel it, understand it, and now put that towards more of a strategical way of doing things, or put that towards making sure you detach from the people, places, and things that you aren't productive in your schedule, aren't productive in your routine, or get in the way of helping you build an efficient routine. Get that up out the way. You feel me? So you could pour into yourself. So you could use this emotional drive towards 6th house things. Okay? Now, 7th house. 7th house. The 7th house deals with how we connect with others on a one-on-one level, relationships of all sorts, our partner, our friends, relationships in the workplace or whatever, relationships all over. But, you know, obviously huge emphasis on our one-on-one relationships, on our intimate motherfucking romantic relationships. So, your relationship life is going to be illuminated with the full moon transiting your 7th house. All right. You know, any relationship issues or anything you've been suppressing in your relationships, these things come to the surface intensely. And you can expect to attract a situation where maybe your partner has something to reveal to you within your relationship, or they might be the ones that is motherfucking impulsive, expressing some shit. You can attract that here. So you might just want to be in that, because everybody's feeling the full moon. You listening to the full moon transit in your house, but everybody's feeling the full moon. So if you have the full moon in the if you have the full moon transit in your 7th house, you know, you may attract that type of intense energy through your partner, but it ain't you, but it's a 7th house situation. So you want to be more understanding of others around this time too. You know, people have their outbursts or lack control of their emotions. You want to be more understanding because you have awareness of what times we're in right now, what energies we're dealing with. Now, full moon transit 7th house, relationship issues or anything you've been suppressing in relationships, these things come to the surface from both sides. From both sides, from you and your partner. So you want to be careful and you want to make sure you digest and you know, process your feelings and emotions with your partner instead of just lashing out. You feel me? You start realizing around the time you feel like you're not valued in your relationship. You feel like communication is not supposed to be where it's supposed to be. It'd be little shit turn into big shit around this time. You feel me? You told your partner to do something last week before you left the house to work. They didn't do it. You forgot to say something about it. Then you remember it around the full moon Leo. Now you made it a super big deal around this time. So you gotta be careful not making small things big things. You know, I don't like to say I've been through a lot because I know life is life and everybody's going through a lot. Some people have been through way more than I've been through. But, you know, I've just been through too much to be surrounded or tolerate being around individuals that make small things big things. When you experience a lot of shit in your life, you don't let small shit turn into shit way bigger than it's supposed to be. Because you know how serious shit you done dealt with it in your life. Especially if you dealt with any loss in your life. You feel me? Especially if you dealt with any crazy transformative situation in your life. You know, you dealing with crazy family circumstances. You had a crazy childhood. When you start getting older, you start looking at people that be complaining about little shit. Or you start looking at people that, you feel me, like to make little shit or harp on little small shit. I can't date them people. I can't be around them people. I can't build associations around them type of people. It just shows me the lack of depth you've experienced in this lifetime. If I could see what's such an issue to you, what the thing that you're stressing yourself out, complaining about, and it's really middle school, it's really not that serious. That's just showing the lack of depth the spirit has in this experience so far. You feel me? Out of all the things that could be going on in your life, that's the shit that weighs the most significance. It's driving you crazy right now. So you have to be conscious around the individuals that you allow yourself to surround yourself with, that turn a lot of small shit into big things, especially if you're dating these type of individuals. You don't need that motherfucking stress. Now, it's not the best time to express how you feel to your partner, but a great time to process and digest how you feel. Your partner may reveal things to you around this time. Seeing how your social circle of relationships overall affect your personal goals is very important around this time. Your social circle or your motherfucking friends or people that you surround yourself with, or even your partner in some type of shape or form might be getting in the way of something that you have a real true personal aspiration for. Once again, we got that sun in your first house right now. Now, for the single people, for people that are single, not really dating or whatnot, and they got the full moon transiting your seventh house, questions to ask yourself: what do you want in a relationship? And how do you go about loving or valuing yourself to attract that? All right. So if you're single, you got the full moon transiting your seventh house. It could be a state where you're feeling unfulfilled when it comes to connecting. Mind you, this full moon is a couple of days after Valentine's Day. All right. See, this is why I don't be giving a fuck about holidays for real. I don't really give a fuck about American holidays. There's rituals behind all these motherfuckings, behind all these dates. Whoever decided to make Valentine's Day Aquarius season, they knew what the fuck they was doing. They knew what the fuck they was doing. It's one of the most detached, isolated frequencies of the fucking solar cycle. And y'all chose to make the day about love and value and love and union and connecting. And y'all chose, we could have did that in Pisces. Y'all could have just waited a couple of what? Y'all could have waited another week, a week and a half, and we could have had it in the perfect season. Valentine's supposed to be in Pisces season. Valentine's supposed to be in Libra season. Like, Valentine's supposed to be in, like, you feel me, in Taurus season. Like, niggas put that shit in Aquarius season. God damn. Rituals, y'all. Rituals. We this calendar is crazy. That's all I gotta say, man. But don't be having these full moon energies having us tripping if you got the full moon chance in your seventh house during Valentine's Day and shit. Because this shit about to have, if you single and shit, this shit gonna have you motherfucking start. It's gonna start, it taps you into some shadow work now. It's gonna tap you into some shadow work with relationships. You're gonna start analyzing why you single and things about your past relationships. You start motherfucking past things your partners and exes said about you. That shit used to go over your head in the relationships. Like, you stubborn as hell, you never listen, or you don't know how to compromise, you don't know how to do. That shit went over your head in relationships. Full moon chance in your seventh house while you single, you start thinking about that shit like, damn. Last three motherfuckers out there, they did all say that shit about me. Okay. When the first one said that, I didn't think it was much, but okay, I guess this is something persistent about me. You start getting to the root of things about you in relationships with the full moon. The full moon is nostalgic. Like, deal with the past. It's connected to the Akashic records and all that shit. So it's going to bring past circumstances where it's at. And these are all to help you evolve. Once again, we don't have access to the subconscious all the time. We dealing with the conscious. We dealing with our awareness. We suppress and bury things all the time. So when you got the full moon energy, it's really not easy to do that. It's kind of impossible to do that. Right. I'm bringing it up for the seventh house because it's going to be more intense for people in the seventh house. Full moon in the seventh house, the moon is your need. So you're going to start to develop, you're going to start correlating your emotional well-being around your need to connect. And it's going to tap you into past circumstances with your past relationships and shit. But you know, for people that are single right now, this is just a great time for you to understand things about yourself with your past relationships and be conscious. This is a time for you to be conscious about what you want in a relationship and how you gonna conduct yourself in a relationship when you attract it. Sometimes we don't think too much about that, about how we gonna actually move when we do have something that we're trying to manifest. Trying to manifest $1 million. How you gonna move when you have the $1 million? How much people you gonna give back to? How much things you gonna set up for the world? How, you know, what positive things you gonna do with that $1 million? What type of influence you gonna have with that $1 million? What type of discipline, self-control you gonna have with that $1 million? You don't think about none of that shit. You just think about, motherfucker, I need that million. I'm gonna manifest that within the next couple of years or whatever. So when it comes to love, if love is something you want to manifest, this full moon gonna help you understand, like, okay, you want to manifest relationship, love, this, that, and the third connection. Let's just make sure we've learned from all of our previous experiences. Let's make sure we pick up on all red flags that we naturally attract in this lifetime for whatever reason that we do. All right. And let's make sure things about self, we understand how I'm going to be moving and not moving the next time the potential to connect with somebody, appears on my front door. I know I could be stubborn. I know I don't listen as much. I know whatever it is. We all know the things that we've done in relationships that piss our partners off. Like, if you don't know the things that's negative about you in relationships or things you need to work on in relationships or at least have room for improvement, you have a 0% on the accountability meter. If you can't name a couple of things you need to work on in your relationship life, if you can't name better ways that you could be a better partner, I'm praying for your partner. I'm praying for whoever dating you. You feel me? Because all this energy is about. Ain't nobody perfect with anything. They say not to manifest on a full moon. I like to say this is a point where you need to make sure that you're taking note of what you're about to change and manifest. So by the time you get to the new moon, you're already prepped. You already detached and released from certain things. And the full moon right now, about to transit through your Leo house, it brought an intuition or something in that area. So that's what I'm saying. We want to acknowledge these things. We don't want to react. We don't want to be impulsive reacting to any of this. You feel me? You want to just feel. You want to understand right now. You want to acknowledge your emotional well-being. And then that starts to set the plate for how you move on things. Brings more clarity before the new moon as well. You know? I like that message by Nina Love too. Use your discernment on what your intuition feels to you. Does it say yes or no? And it's like, that's very important because just a couple weeks ago, when we had a lot of retrograde energies, when Venus was still retrograde, Mercury was still retrograde, I did a transit reading for somebody and they had all type of shit in their chart that says go now. They had all type of shit in their chart that was screaming go now. So, you have to take into account what you have transiting your houses. If you got the sun in your first house right now, you're supposed to be getting busy expressing new things, putting new things into the light. But if you sitting here listening to astrologers say, not right now, it's the full moon, or it's retrograde, not right now, you don't know what type of opportunities you done missed out on. You feel me? Take the energies into account and correlate them with your natural energies. And then that help you bring more solutions. Like you said, help you resonate with your intuition some more. The Leo full moon is on the 16th. It's on the 16th. All right. So, boom. That's what we got going on with the 7th house. All right. This is what we got going on with the 7th house. 8th house. 8th house. The 8th house is the house of secrets, hidden agendas, things in the dark, the subconscious, the occult, sex, transformation. The 8th house deals with other people's resources. Other people's resources. Yo, Stella, we got to talk too. Like, I literally been an 8th house ass nigga for the past couple months. Like, I've just been in the dark. I've been mysterious with it. So, like, we gotta catch up. We gonna do that though. That's gonna happen. 8th house. So the 8th house rules everything behind the scenes, everything in the dark. your intentions, your deep passions and motives, things that have transformed you and things that you've buried, insecurities, influences, shadow work, but huge emphasis on other people's resources. So when we look at the full moon transit in this house, it's tough, it's intense, because the full moon don't like to be in this house. This energy is intense for the moon because it's diving deep, literally. It's diving deep, connecting to secrets, things you buried, insecurities, things you keep in the dark from others, deep passions and motives you have. So, off rip, finances, saving, money management becomes an emphasis here. All right. You may start to realize how you have to be more wise with how you move finances around. Okay. More of an understanding of resources you have access to. So when you got the full moon transit in the 8th house, you may have a passion and motive to do something, to create something, to work on something, and now you just now realizing with the full moon transit in your 8th house, you want to work on this mixtape, but you just realize your cousin, best friend got a studio. You could probably pay for less studio time over there, or work out a deal with them. Like, yo, if I come 4 times a week, can I just pay you this much a month? Like, you start realizing the access you have for certain resources through other individuals, through different parties. So that's 1. 2, you may just actually, the resources you have as well. The resources you have as well to work your passions and motives. These are things you start to understand some more around the time. Now, the 8th house deals with traumas, wounds, insecurities, things we bury deep. So when the full moon transit in your 8th house, you really don't want to be doing too much. You need to give yourself a chance to soak in some of this, to understand some of this. To understand the reason why you do certain things in relationships is because when you was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, you experienced this, and now you're taking this attribute into your relationships. All right? Full moon in 8th house is on that type of shit. You start realizing you buried shit. Like, some of us know what's the things that we keep behind the scenes in our 8th house. Some of us really don't. Some of us don't know we have certain traumas and wounds. Some of us don't realize we're doing certain things in our personal life, in our relationship life, in whatever, because of what we experienced, maybe in the 4th house, in the 3rd house, early in life. So the full moon in the 8th house brings the subconscious to the surface level, period. So when it's in the 8th house, it's intense here. And you can definitely have emotional outbursts, depending on what environment you're in and who you're around full moon transit in the 8th house. But the full moon likes to nurture. The moon period likes to nurture and understand. So use this period to bring understanding to your wounds. Use this period to bring an understanding to why you have a root passion and motive for something, and to help you stay on pace, when it comes to that thing you have a passion or your goal oriented around. The 8th house deals with sex and transformation. So when it comes to anything that's playing out in your life as a form of a temptation, anything that, is trying to manipulate you sexually, or have some type of power and control over you, a person, place, or thing, a substance, anything that you feel like you're heavily attached to and you need to transform and evolve, the full moon brings these things to the surface. So get Leo in the 8th house, and then you got Leo in the 8th house. I'm bugging. This is Leo energy. Leo don't even like the 8th house. So a lot of the times, Leo's all about shining light on things. The 8th house is about being behind the scenes. So you got Leo in the 8th house, you're going to manifest situations in your life where shit you wanted to keep in the dark come to the fucking light. And you got to learn how to deal with that shit all the time. So if you got motherfucking Leo in the 8th house, this is going to be a time where you're probably going to be pushed to evolve or work through something that happened like that before. Let's say something came out about you in the past or whatnot, something that was private about you came out in the past or whatnot. In past couple months, last year, the shit's still fucking with you. Full moon transit in your 8th house is going to say, yo, listen, we got to acknowledge that we really hurt about this shit and it's still affecting us, but we really got to write down what the fuck we got to do to heal this shit, to tap into some shadow work, to start working through this insecurity. It's out, it's in the light now, people know I date this person. People know I did that. People know I did this. Okay, but how do I persevere through it? That's what the full moon is going to be influencing transit in the 8th house. If you've been through them situations, you got Leo in the 8th house, that shit could play out like that a lot. It could bring a lot of the darkness to the light. And when I say darkness, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be something negative. It just more so means something that you may have not been prepared to put into the light. You may not have been prepared to express it yet. You know, we all have intentions before we act on certain things. Okay. And we keep a lot of these intentions in the 8th house, especially the burning desire ones. That's the 8th house. Okay. But this brings a lot of energy to help transmute and transform. That's where you find the power with the full moon in the 8th house. You got to know that you're about to transmute some shit. You got to know you're about to redirect energy somewhere. It's powerful like that. You know, the moon could gravitate a whole lot of shit in that 8th house. You know, it's almost like the moon in the 8th house is like Jesus passing through the hood. You know how they said Jesus used to be with everybody in the hood and whatnot? You feel me? Used to be with the people that didn't pay their taxes. Used to be with the criminals. That's the full moon transit in the 8th house. The full moon strolling through this dark ass place. All these demons and monsters and secrets and insecurities. And Jesus like, all right, man, I'm going to have to understand y'all. And I'm going to have to bring some nurture and support to y'all. I'm going to have to help y'all transform and change with the word of God. That's what the moon doing in the 8th house. It's like, this shit is too intense for me. You feel me? What rising sign this would be? Leo in the 8th house. This would be my Leo in the 8th. Since we just came up, this was my cap rises. This would be my cap risings, if I'm not mistaken. Capricorn in the 1st. All right, Capricorn in the 1st. The Aquarius in the I said Aquarius. Cancer in the 7th. Yes. Be my Capricorn risings. You feel me? I'm a Cap rising, but my chart, you know, is not set up like that. You know, I got Aquarius in my 1st house, so my shit set up like an Aquarius rising chart. You know, so I got Leo in my 7th house. But yeah, Leo in the 8th house. That's how this is gonna play. That's how it's gonna play out. You really want to be isolated to yourself because there's gonna be a lot of deep diving. There's gonna be a lot of things that you're gonna catch an influence to change and transform. This 8th house deals with changing. 8th house deals with transformation. The full moon is dealing with detaching and releasing. So it's going to be some changes that's to acknowledge with the energy transiting here. All right. Especially when it comes to temptations and things you're attached to. It's going to be things you're going to realize if I don't make a change about this or transform this, it could start to consume me, or I have way too much energy invested into this. You know, this shit could start taking power of me. 8th house deal with power too. All right. So you got to be careful what power and control issues you may be dealing with in your life. You know, people be in jail over a substance, you know. So people could be in jail in a relationship, some form of an abusive relationship. You in jail in that. You staying content in that. You could be in jail with a substance. You be alcoholic, your relationship with weed or whatever. You're the one putting yourself in the jail, but like you be high and you probably be thinking like, damn, like I'm really in this jail. I can't get out of it. So full moon in the 8th house is trying to charge you up with a strong emotional intent to transform all the things you heavily attached to. And support all the things and start the healing process when it comes to certain wounds that you may pick up on around this moment, certain things that affected you from the past, and you just picking it up on it now. All right. That's the full moon transit in the 8th house. All right. Real quick. Let me get through these last 4. So I'm going to have to make another video. 9th house. The house of education and experiences will be highlighted. 9th house deals with experiences, education, you know, the things you like to learn, adventure, long distance travel. So all these things are highlighted. These are all the things you start to feel heavily on. You start to feel like you need to start taking more initiative and how you experience new things. You start to see if you're lacking in that area. I don't be traveling as much. I don't be adventuring. I don't be experiencing new things as much. All right. These are the things you start to feel like you need to implement more into your life. When we look at the 9th house, we also dealing with, is real spiritual influence here. So, you know, you can be in a real philosophical space, especially when it comes to your spiritual journey and development. Start feeling like you need to invest more into your belief system, invest more into your forms of spirituality. You need to go get a reading, go get a cleanse, go take a spiritual bath. You know, all of these things. You need to fix up the altar. You need to start giving more to the ancestors. All these things, full moon and 9th house starts bringing to the surface. Your ancestors start talking to you when you got the full moon and 9th house. Like, yo, listen. I know you be pouring out the Remy. Like we be fucking with the Remy, but bring the Henny next weekend. Bring the Henny when you do this full moon ritual. All right, we kind of tired of the Remy right now. Make it Henny white too. I know that shit hard to find, but we gonna make shit happen for you. You find that white honey. We'll take the regular honey. When you find some white honey, we gonna speed shit up for you. So, ninth house, you're gonna be in a state where you're reflecting. Like, remember the moon, past, right? Akashic records, rewinding. So, a lot of past experiences that you went through, and you're starting to, around this time with the full moon transit ninth house, you're actually starting to understand what that experience was about. You went through a whole fucking, remember, this trickles all the way back, this full moon trickles all the way back until August 8th, last year. Let's say you experienced a crazy breakup last summertime or some shit. So let's say you experienced a crazy breakup or a crazy transformative situation in your relationship the last 4 months of 2021. From the fall going into the winter. With this full moon transit in your ninth house, you gonna start now seeing a bigger picture of why all that shit happened. You're gonna start now, just now, dissecting the gems from that situation and understanding why that shit went left or whatnot. So situations from months ago with the full moon transit ninth house, you start seeing the bigger picture or the meaning as to why things correlated the way it was, what that relationship was to teach you, what that experience or that transformation was supposed to teach you. All right. For Aries risings, that's the fifth house. Leo in the fifth house. All right. So that's in my previous live that I just posted. This live is 6th through the 12th, and I'm on the 9th. Could be in real philosophical space. You could start to develop more of a field to make sure you're, once again, investing into your belief system, investing into your forms of spirituality. So, going out, getting more books, making more of a devotion, becoming more devoted to, learning about the things you want to learn about. Whether it's astrology, spirituality, rituals, candle magic, whatever it is. All right. Desires to learn new things. Okay. Investing into going back to school. Yeah, I ain't really big on school for real. This is the age of Aquarius. There's all type of ways to learn the things you want to learn. So, but whether it's school or any type of form of education, investing into a course, these things could be heavy on the heart around this time. So these are things you could get ready to start seeing yourself invest in. Long distance relationships are of the emphasis. You have an important relationship that's somewhat long distance. Not just an intimate relationship. Let's say you run a business, your business partner's overseas and shit. All long distance relationships, these are more of an emphasis right now. You feel like you got to communicate to these people, balance things out, find understanding, making sure things are set. All right. Are you feeling fulfilled with what you like to experience or adventure in this lifetime? These are things you start to question yourself around this time. And then you just fucking plan a spontaneous trip, just book a flight on your credit card to Mexico, not tell nobody, do all that shit during full moon. Like, relax. It's a good idea, but start processing why you haven't been feeling fulfilled, experiencing and adventuring things in your life. That's getting to the root. Once we get to that root of why you either neglect yourself from experiencing things, what responsibilities you have that get in the way of you experiencing things, all of that, we get to the root so we can take care of that and then start expanding and creating opportunities for you to adventure, experience new things, travel, whatever it may be. But the ninth house deals with experiences. There you go, Nina Love. You're expanding on what you want to gain knowledge about. All right. Invest into your spirituality. Expressive of your knowledge and wisdom around this time. The ninth house deals with education. What you know, your knowledge and wisdom. But this is a fire house. We know fire deals with expression. So right now, you got to be careful not getting into, around this time, post full moon, not getting into any crazy debates and becoming argumentative, trying to defend your knowledge and wisdom about something. Like, it ain't that deep. It ain't that deep. Somebody don't want to be schooled, don't want to learn something. You ain't got to beat it in their head. You ain't got to do that. All right. So that's what we got going on in the ninth house. 10th house. 10th house, house of your social status and career. Right? Golden Confucius in the building. Golden Confucius. I hope you wasn't in the last live, because I missed you if you was in the last live. I got to break down my shit. Y'all know I got to break down my shit when Golden Confucius in the building. 10th house. All right? The house of social status and career. This house gets highlighted during the full moon in Leo. You start picking up all type of shit when it comes to your 10th house. Your social status, your career. Is this where I'm supposed to be at right now in my career? I should have been elsewhere in my career, but I didn't do this, that, and the third. All right. How do I want the world to see me? How do I develop this brand? How do I develop this business? How do I go about pushing this business? Am I comfortable with the position I'm in career right now? How do I build upon the position I'm in career? Full moon in the 10th house. Those are all the thoughts and questions with the full moon in the 10th house. All right. You got to be able to not dawn too much on the past in an unproductive way during the full moon. When you got the full moon in the 10th house, you may start looking at where you're at in career. And let's say you're unsatisfied with where you're at in career. You can't be looking at so much. You want to look at your past couple of years to see opportunities where you missed out on doing certain things to change your situation and circumstance now. But you can't be soaking on that shit. During the full moon, people have the tendency to be soaking in the past. Use the past. Use your past. Don't soak in that shit. Today's today, tomorrow's tomorrow, all right? So with the full moon change in your 10th house, it's something that you want to transform, change within a career, or how you want the world to see you, how you want to brand yourself, how you want your social status to come off to the world, what the fuck you want people to say when they ask, who's you, who's Boro? There's a certain thing I want people to say when people ask, who's Boro? You feel me? So whatever the fuck that is, you got to find out how you're going to go about bringing these changes into your 10th house to make sure you construct that new way that you're branded, presented, so the way your social status is demonstrated to the world. So there's going to be a lot of career influence, career changes being influenced here at the moment. When the overall comes to your how people perceive you in the world, these are things that's heavy on your conscience. All right, especially if you've experienced something negative that put a blemish on how you're perceived, your reputation. Don't be it's hard to evolve through that situation if you're sinking into the past of that too. Own that you have to own that you have that whatever on your reputation. Whatever. We got to persevere and move through that shit, you know? If every celebrity, star, rapper, actor, actress, motherfucking lost they shit for every tab, for every news story, post that was put out about them, these motherfuckers would be, well, they do be needing therapy. We all be needing therapy. But for the most part, they be losing their shit 24/7 if they made a big deal about everything that's connected to how their social status perceived the sun. So this is a time to help anybody with any blemish on their reputation or them not being seen and projected the way they want to be seen in the world. Any frustrations dealing with that, the full moon is here to help you bring understanding to why you're in that situation, to bring understanding to how you can change and achieve things within the career area in the 10th house. All right. And how to evolve past them things. How to evolve past, any shortcoming or whatnot within your 10th house and social status. But the full moon during the 10th house, remember the full moon deal with needs. The moon deal with needs. You got the full moon transit in your 10th house, you're going to start feeling like, what I need to get what I need in this 10th house. I need stability. I need a promotion. I need more authority in my career space. I need to dictate my schedule. So this full moon, you got to make sure whatever frustration or anything that's suppressed around this time doesn't become an outburst in your job. Once again, if you got the full moon transit in your 2nd, 6th, and 10th house, please, I do not need y'all cussing your boss out, cussing your manager out, telling everybody, fuck y'all, SMD, I quit. Like, that's not what we want to do during the full moon. We want to process how we feel and observe our situation within career and then make changes following that up. Full moons are to be used to get to the root of a situation. Once you get to the root of a situation, now you can start working efficiently. All right. You can't work on your relationship issues or whatnot. You're not getting into the root why you a cheater. You're not getting into the root of why all your partners say you don't motherfucking listen. You don't get into the root of why it's hard for you to compromise. You can't get into the root, all of that shit. People be having all type of relationship. All your childhood shit be coming up in your relationships. All your childhood shit come up when you in love. Or people don't want to be acknowledging that. People don't want to acknowledge, like, damn, why do I have a lack of self-control with this? Damn, every time I get into a relationship, build emotion for somebody, I start acting like this. Why is it hard for me to express my emotions to others? Why is it hard for me to deal with emotion in the relationship? You feel me? How come when somebody tell me they care about me or they actually have feelings towards me, that should make me uncomfortable? So these are all things we don't be really consciously trying to understand. It's so easy to play victim in so many different ways in our relationships, or just thinking like, all right, whatever, that happened in the past. All that shit won't happen in my next experience. All that shit won't happen in my next relationship and all that. Okay, all right. accountability. So that's what we're going on full moon in the 10th house. All right. Full moon in the 10th house. I don't need none of y'all. If you feel like there's a sense of authority, a position that y'all need to claim in the 10th house, this full moon gonna pull on it. And I need y'all to write down how you feel and what's gonna change about it. What changes you gonna make in that house. All right. So by the time we get to that new moon, by the time you get more into Pisces season, you start putting puzzle pieces together. Okay, you start understanding how to put yourself in a position to have more authority or more of a domain over your career life. Last two houses, 11th house. Oh my God, I'm supposed to be waving this. This is supposed to be my little, you feel me, timestamp. Damn. I thought of that idea before I got on live, and I'm not even doing that. It's supposed to be helping me go put timestamps on the energies for YouTube. But anyways, we're going to pick up that habit tomorrow or something. 11th house. You got the full moon transit in the 11th house. What's the 11th house? The connection to the outside world, outside relationships, associates, colleagues, community, groups you may be a part of. You feel me? So when we look at the 11th house, your social circle and relationships are illuminated during the full moon. Things that have been suppressed amongst people that you surround yourself with, these things start to get highlighted, and it's hard to keep these things. It's hard to keep these things to yourself and whatnot. You know, anything dealing with people in groups, communities. You're a part of this might be a time where you feel like it's a time for you to leave, detach, or release from some type of group or community that you're a part of, and make sure you're not doing that in an outburst type of way. It might just be a time for you to move on. And whatever it may be, whatever type of group community you may be a part of in some type of shape or form, whatever type of association you may be a part of. All right. Now, this house is dealing with relationships. It is dealing with people, but more so of them Saturn-like energies. Keep your waving thing on top of your notes. Right. Thank you. I just had it right on top of the, you got a little cup holder, a little crystal cup holder. You feel me? Had that joint just sitting pretty over there. Leo in the 11th house wants to connect his creativity into the outside realm. Wants to find ways to build relationships amongst people that's like-minded with its creative industry, the things that it's into creatively. All right? Thank you, Jazz. You know, I really appreciate that shit from the bottom of my heart, for real. I really appreciate it. So yeah, the 11th house, the moon illuminates your house of relationships. You start feeling and thinking more about the people you're surrounded by. You start thinking about the people that's involved in this project you're working on, but it's not just you, it's a group project. There's a couple of people working on this shit. You start thinking about if they're gonna hold up their responsibility with this shit. You start thinking about if you should even have people a part of this association, or you should be doing this shit on your own. All right. Your social circle become way more of an emphasis, so you start seeing how much of the people you surround yourself with are supportive or, productive factors toward the things that you're working on in your life. I like to say 11th house has somewhat of an influence on career here because we're dealing with business relationships and associations. We got Saturn influence here. All right. So it may be some changes that you need to make with business relationships. All right. This may be a time, full moon transit in 11th house. You start to see the significance of working social media or dealing with technology in some type of shape or form. And maybe something you're working on, you're building, and now you're starting to realize how you need to utilize TikTok. You need to utilize YouTube. You need to utilize whatever. You need to start doing this on Instagram. You need to start going live on Facebook. You feel me? How can you utilize 11th house energies to help you build and sustain your reality in some type of shape or form? All right. 11th house here was just hitting up a few people regarding my creative projects for spring. Yup. See, yeah. Leo is already, the house that you have Leo in, it's already picking up that the full moon is about to spring there. It's like the moon. It's like what time your mom and your father come home from work when you was younger. It's like that. Leo, your house that has Leo in it, it can feel that it's the spring of the full moon. The peak is about to take place in that house. So that's why we start picking up the energies in that house already. So you in the 11th house, people in the 11th house is probably already starting to feel like around this time, it's going to be way more intense once the full moon peaks. The people with energies in the 11th house, full moon about to transit the 11th house, y'all gonna really start being way more cutthroat and have such a small tolerance for being around people who you don't connect with on a like-minded scale, or people who can't relate to the things you're working on. You want something different in you when it comes to your outside relationships in the world. You might be in a state of feeling like around this time, like, yo, I want a more evolved social circle. I want to experience more things and meet new people in the world. I know there's more people that's into what I'm into. I know there's more people that share a belief system with me. 11th house does have a spiritual influence here. So we dealing with the unknown, unfamiliar, UFOs, aliens, occult, astrology. We dealing with all of that in the 11th house. So people with a lot of planets in the 11th house, they're going to be the ones that always stick out. They can just end up being the ones, a lot of Aquarius energy, a lot of 11th house energies is whether the way they dress, communicate, their career, what they do for their career, is going to be something different in that shit. All right? And when you have the full moon transit in 11th house, you know, fully illuminated, fully emotionally aware and understanding, you know, one of your best friends was telling you don't go into business with this person. Be careful of that person because they really gift the gabbed you real quick into doing business with them. But you was telling your friend like, nah, it's all good. We have resources we could build and share this, that, and the third. The full moon transit in 11th house, you're going to start to actually feel and pick up on what your best friend was trying to tell you. Like, oh shit, damn. I was so focused on what I could create through this association, through this group, through this partnership, through this business partnership. That red flag, I pick up, feel, and see that shit now. You feel me? They dead ass did gift the gab me into starting this motherfucking business with them. So, you know, that's how that shit play out 11th house. You got to make sure you know who you associated with right now. The fact that you have the full moon transit 11th house might be universe trying to get on your ass right now to show you like, yo, what you're working on is precious right now, or the things that you're trying to connect into the 11th house, the things you're trying to connect through technology, social media, the things that you're working on, creatively invested in, spiritually invested in, that you're trying to connect into the world. It can go far. It can go far, but you need to rearrange this social circle. 1 and 2 ain't thinking the way you thinking. That other person in the group thinking like you need to just venture off with them. Like all these shits, whatever the situation for you is in the 11th house, you're going to feel it heavy around this time. All right? Refrain from outbursts within group matters, community matters. You will look crazy, burn bridges. And yes, it's just a huge desire to surround yourself with creators, like-minded individuals, period. Leo in the 11th house don't want to be around people who put limits on what they could create and connect to the world. All right? And last but not least, the 12th house. The 12th house. So the 12th house, we know it ain't got shit to do with reality. The 12th house is dealing with the subconscious realm. The full moon is dealing with the subconscious. So it gets really deep when the full moon transits the 12th house, because the 12th house is already the subconscious. If you have planets in the 12th house, these are things you do subconsciously. You got the sun in the 12th house, some of your actions be subconscious. You got the moon in the 12th house, your inner feelings and thoughts, you connected to them, but the way you react in the world is subconscious. In the physical reality. So you're so in tune with your subconscious that at times the way you react to the physical reality, you don't notice that you're moving a certain way. You kind of in your own world doing things in the world, if that makes sense. All right. Mercury in the 12th house, the way you communicate be subconscious. You won't be realizing you say some of the shit you say sometimes. And this could be creative as hell. Mercury in 12th houses, water houses, Mercury in water signs. These be some of the best freestylers. Some of the best, they could freestyle and motherfucking, what's the word for when you improvise? Motherfucking improvise. You feel me? You know, but too much water be running from expression at times. So hopefully they got some energies helping with expression and nothing clashing against that water. But for the most part, you know, any planets in that 12th house, so these things you do subconsciously. So when we got the full moon transiting here, everything with your subconscious is highly evolved, you highly aware here. Things you've buried, you're aware of these things here. Relationship traumas and wounds, you become more aware of these shits here. The 12th house rules your dreams and imagination. So you could be real daydreaming around this time because you're so invested in your dreams. You're so invested in the things you want to bring out the imagination. Now, one thing I really wanted to highlight about people that have Leo in the 12th house and the full moon transiting here is that this shit could start, it don't matter what age you is in life. You could be 15, 25, 30, 35, 50. With the full moon transit in your 12th house, it just be feeling like you running out of time to do shit. Like, it just be feeling like you running out of time to do things. So you got to make sure, just because you had this goal, this creative aspiration, this thing in your imagination all your life, just because you haven't put, life into it yet, you haven't put some energy and force into it yet, don't mean the shit is the end of time. Like, it don't mean like, I gotta go to the studio and record music this week and put it out next week, or I'm gonna die. Like, it ain't nothing else gonna make sense. Like, you don't be too dramatic, feeling like, things that you have the rest of your life to experience and do, like, you gotta get them done tomorrow. The 12th house just has a funny way of making important transits, like the new full moon and shit, retrograde energies in that house. It start making shit feel like it's the end of time. You guys start doing shit now, because the 12th house is dealing with the dream realm. Ain't no sense of time up there. But you start feeling a way when you're comparing your dreams and your imagination to physical reality, which has restrictions of dealing with time. So you could be all up in your imagination with an important transit during the 12th house, and all the frustration comes when you really got to sit down and ponder how you got to make the shit work in reality. Start being like, God damn, that shit creative, but woo, I'm going to be about 40, 50 something by the time I'm done with that. It's like, yo, chill, relax. It's not going to take that much time. Like, I mean, shit take time to grow, but 12th house is just start getting a little frustrated when they got to make the imagination and reality match. Especially if you got like Pisces, you got Pisces placements, you got like strong Jupiter, Neptune placements. You got Jupiter, Neptune by your sun, moon in the first house, on your ascendant. You might start tripping a little bit with the full moon in the 12th house. So y'all got to understand, this energy is going to be intense when it comes to tapping you into your, the things you feel like you need to experience. The 12th house has a huge influence on experiences in your belief system and things in your subconscious. And a lot of times when it comes to things we want to experience, if we don't get to experience, that just becomes something else that we buried in the subconscious. So either we stopped wanting to experience it because we have no more hope in the motherfucking experience, or we just started feeling like, whatever, we got to evolve into something else. These are the things that start to come to the surface. You feel me? For example, let's say a guy fell in love. His first relationship in his life, he fell in love. First serious relationship. He was 18, dated a chick from 18 to 22 years old. They dated for 4 years. She ended up cheating on him with his best friend. Now, let's say before he got into the relationship, he was already the type of individual, like he ain't really care about relationships and love and all that. Let's say he was a player, he did his own single thing, but he just stumbled into a relationship where he fell in love, had no control of his emotions, like it's over, it's deaded. This is a twin flame soulmate karmic relationship. You can't fight the love, you can't fight the emotions, it's over. So let's say he goes through that situation and then ends up getting cheated on, traumatic situation, get his heart broken and all that, right? Let's say after that moment, he continues to live his life cold-hearted, not trying to open up. The moment he starts feeling like he opened up to a chick, he detached, he ghosts her or whatever. Full moon transit in your 12th house will tap you all the way back into that first relationship. Full moon in the 12th house will tap you all the way back into that first relationship to help you start understanding it. Is it healthy for you to be moving the way you move now? So, full moon in 12th house it probably dives a bit deeper than the 8th house. Like it get real deep there. It get real deep with full moons in like 8th house. It's pretty intense in the 8th house because it's uncomfortable there. But in that 12th house, it'll bring back a lot. When it comes to rooted issues, insecurities, and all that. So you start looking at all that shit like, damn, I'm really moving like this because of my first relation when I got my heart broken into smithereens and shit. But it don't feel healthy moving the way I'm moving like this. It don't feel healthy. You feel me? It don't. And the 12th house, that analogy was actually great because the 12th house deals with connecting to others through the subconscious, feeling people through the emotions, connecting to people through here. And if you just had sex with somebody and y'all ain't really have no real internal connection, that wasn't really a 12th house. That wasn't a 12th house connection. That was like that was just a little quick 8th house connection. When you develop some of this, now that's 12th house. You feeling somebody else's subconscious and emotions out. You feel me? So that's how that plays out. 12th house. Your imagination will be highly illuminated. Your dreams, your creativity, all that's going to be highly illuminated. You got to make sure you're not giving yourself the back against the wall. I ain't got no time left or how much time it's going to take. No, just use this energy to acknowledge these things. See where you need to heal, where you need to work at. Pinpoint the wounds and the root of the issues and whatnot to help you take care of these things. They about to kick me off IG, y'all. So y'all already know the vibes. I hope y'all continue to enjoy your Jupiter day as we move into the weekend.